Hi, you are welcome to lesson 3 of our training on procurement management for works. The title of this lesson is Standard Bidding Documents for Works. We're going to concentrate on instructions to bidders and bid data sheet. My name again is Anderson Dumle Nagbi. Anderson Dumle Nagbi is a chartered member of the Chartered Institute of Purchasing and Supply Management of Nigeria. I'm going to be your guide in this short training. Let us look at the lesson objectives for this training. By the end of this session, you will be able to understand the structure and content of Multilateral Development Bank Standard Bidding Document for small and large works. 2. You will also be able to customize the bid data sheet of the standard bidding document to suit the specific procurement package requirements. Let's look at the World Bank Standard Bidding Document for Works as a model for such documents in public procurement. This section presents the content of two of the World Bank Standard Bidding Document as a model for the procurement of works, namely the World Bank Document 1 Envelope Bidding for small works of January 2020 for contract estimated to cost under $10 million. The next one is the World Bank's Standard Bidding Document for Works based on FIDIC General Conditions of Contract 2nd edition of 2017, which is used for large works. And finally, we'll look at specific procurement package requirements. Why standard bidding documents in public procurement? Standard bidding documents are normally prepared by procurement policy or oversight entity in the country for the following reasons. Number 1 is to ensure adequate and uniform enforcement of procurement laws or regulations by procuring entities. Number 2 is to facilitate supervision and quality assurance by the managers and auditors of the procurement function. Number 3 is to facilitate capacity building of the procuring entities and the bidders community on uniform standards. Number 4 is to speed up the execution of the procurement process. Number 5 is to balance conditions of contract in order to increase competition. And finally is for the purpose of promotion of transparency in order to enhance good governance and increase competition. Let's look at the identical structure of both the small and large work standard bidding documents. Here, let's look at part 1, bidding procedures. Under bidding procedures, we have instructions to bidders in section 1, and in section 2, we have bid data sheet. In section 3, we have evaluation and qualification criteria. In section 4, we have bidding forms. In section 5, we have eligible countries. This is specific to multilateral development banks. And in section 6, we have fraud and corruption, same specific to multilateral development banks. Part 2 talks about works requirements. Part 3 will see conditions of contract and contract forms. In section 8 of this part 3, you will see general conditions of contract. Section 9, you will see particular conditions of contract. And section 10 has common contract forms. Instructions to bidders, one of the documents we are going to look at. Instructions to bidders. The instruction to bidders is a standard employer-specific text derived from the National Procurement Law and secondary regulations. It lays down the standard rules governing the competition game and how the bids must be prepared and the deadline for bid submission. Such standard text facilitates review by auditors and supervisors. No changes can be introduced into the standard text of the instruction to bidders, and any competition-specific data is introduced in the bid data sheet, which complements the standard text of the instructions to bidders. The instructions to bidders content are as follows. In section A, which is general rules, you will find information such as legal eligibility of the potential bidders. This talks about registration of the company, payment of taxes. That is what you will find there. You will also find something like eligibility of materials and plants to be incorporated into the works. That talks about countries of origin that you're going to import your equipment and your materials from, etc. Then you see definitions. Definitions talks about prohibited practices related to fraud and corruption and other national rules prohibiting unethical behaviors like sexual harassment and abuse. The term eligibility concerns meeting national legal requirements and is to be differentiated from qualifications of the bidder, which refer to the production capacity, turnover, financial strength, and experience of the bidder. Section B talks about content of the bidding document, and here you will see things like list of all constituent parts of bidding document. This serves to alert bidders in case their set of the bidding document is not complete. It's a complete pack, like a checklist. Then it still talks about how bidders can clarify with the employer for any ambiguity in the text or content of the bidding documents. You will find information relating to procedure for bidding documents amendment by the employer in case of the need for substantial changes in the content of the bidding document. In section C, you will find preparation of bids. Here it stipulates that a potential bidder prepares and submits a bid at its own risk and cost, and that the employer may exercise its right to cancel the competition without incurring any liability to the bidders. This subsection lays key rules about bid preparation by bidders. It talks about the language in which the bid must be prepared and submitted. It talks about the list of documents that constitute the bid to be submitted by the bidder. You will also find information here relating to letter of bids, that is the offer by the bidder, and its priced bills of quantities. You will still find information relating to the permissibility of alternative bids, that is alternative time for completion or technical solutions. You will find information relating to how the bidder needs to present its bid, prices, and any potential discount if it is allowed. Still on instructions to bidders, you will see information like the currency options for the bidder to present its bid price and the currencies of corresponding contractual payment by the employer. You will find information here relating to documents required to establish the bidder's eligibility for participation in the competition, as well as the conformity of the materials and plants it proposes to those requested in the technical specifications. It stipulates about documents required to establish the bidder's qualifications to perform a contract. You will find things relating to the requirements for subcontracting, the minimum period of validity of the bidder's bid, the amount and form of bid security, if any, is required, who is considered by the employer as a legally authorized person to sign the bid. Instructions to bid continues. In section D, submission and opening of bid. It stipulates 1. How the bid must be sealed and submitted, number of original copies and photocopies that need to be attached. It talks about where it must be submitted, as well as where and when the bids will be opened in public by the employer. Here you will still get information relating to late bids. It says late bids will be rejected and will be returned unopened to the bidder. The procedures by which a potential bidder may withdraw, amend its bid, or substitute any part of its bid prior to bid opening. If you come to section E, which is bid evaluation, it talks about bid evaluation and bid comparisons. This subsection describes how a bid will be deemed as responsive or non-responsive relative to the requirement of the bidding documents, and how the employer will deal with issues relating to minor deviations and or abnormally low bids. All these are in this particular section. It also talks about the evaluation criteria, that the employer will apply the bid evaluation criteria stipulated in section 3 of the bidding document. It will not go and introduce another criteria. Then the basis of comparison of various bids, including the application of domestic preference if it is so stipulated. It will still go ahead to talk about the process for arithmetic correction, the employer's right to accept any bid and to reject any or all bids, the process for post-qualification of the most advantageous bid as per section 3, the application of the standard period following dispatch of the letter of intent to award. If you come to section F, here it talks about award of contract. This subsection stipulates the basis for award, either by lowest evaluated bid or most advantageous bid. With reference to section 3, it also stipulates that the process for issue of notification of award letter, the process for debriefing by the employer, the process for signing of contracts, the requirement for performance security, the process for filing procurement related complaints by an aggrieved bidder. This brings us to the end of this training. Thank you for watching. Meet you in our next training, which is bid data sheet.